Thanks for listening to the Unscripted Dreams podcast. If you enjoyed the show and want more, please join us on Patreon for exclusive episodes and videos. If you're looking for episode clips, please check out our YouTube page at the Unscripted Dreams podcast. Enjoy the show.
Yeah. Oh, that was interesting. All right. As we know, life is full of surprises, both good and bad, and the day-to-day journey is full of unforeseen obstacles, and sometimes it's hard to see our way through. Beyond the norm and mundane are where unscripted dreams live. Join us for thought-provoking discussions and interviews to help us navigate through the fog and create our own path. We are the Unscripted Dream Podcast, operating outside the margins to motivate and inspire our audience. Hey, before I go further with this episode, how do I sound, guys? Like, do I sound okay? Because I feel like I sound like a fat kid breathing into the mic.
Bro.
No, I can't unhear it. I can't unhear it now.
At first, I was about to say, I thought y'all pre-recorded that intro, bro, but you do that shit live every time?
Every time. We're live right now.
Here. Oh. Get out of here.
Yes, sir.
You sound good, though.
All right. Well, hey, our episode today is called Fake Deep. And some people are like, what the hell is fake deep? And really, fake deep is a description equivalent to an overt chauvinistic person. So they appear smart, educated, or woke, whatever you have it, and upon first impression, but the underlying meanings of their words contradict their intent. So everything they say sounds smart, but it's really contradicted. It's going to be a funny episode, y'all, so bear with us. We have two guests on here. These are some great gentlemen that I've had a chance to have a college experience with. We've done a lot of things together in terms of me not having no regrets, but doing some wild off the wall type of stuff. And they have their own podcast, and we will fill you in more about their podcast later. But for now, I'm going to have them introduce themselves.
Hey, it's Chris. I go by so many names on my podcast, but it's just every day to day. It's Chris. Glad to be a part of the show, gentlemen. Thank you.
And I go by the name Drip Johnson, but y'all may know me as Trav Johnson. And I appreciate the glory and the honor. You see this? I'm about to get fake deep early with y'all. But I appreciate y'all for letting us on the show and having us here. So, man, let's get into it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so some people be like, what does this like mean? Like, how does this fit on the premise of Unscripted Dreams platform? And it fits, we represent empowering people with knowledge. And why would you not talk about fake deep? It's very important because you can easily get on social media and get got off of one statement or quote, and your life is in shambles. So we're going to talk more about that. But just to start things off, man, how do you guys feel about fake deep? Anybody can chime in. Like, do you think that, I don't know, I guess just give me your overall overview of like fake deep. Like, what does it mean to you?
Well, I don't want to shame anybody that's been fake deep sometimes, but I've definitely been a person that was mad fake deep, especially via social media, trying to garner a young lady's attention and pop some knowledge that I wasn't so knowledgeable of, for lack of better words. But you definitely get caught quickly. You definitely get exposed rather expeditiously.
So were you on like some Jaden Smith type stuff, like a Jaden Smith Twitter account type stuff?
That's too spacey, bro. Like, I don't know if Jaden know what he's talking about when you go into that deep level of thought. But me, I would, on Instagram when you see captions and the captions don't match the picture.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's always a deep caption, and it's always like it'll be a bikini pic, and it'll be like, yeah, you got to search your most inner deep self and conquer your demons and things like that. I used to feed off those captions, so I used to be like, dang, like, how you feel about mental health? And I started spurting out a couple buzzwords until I ran into somebody that was really into mental health, and it was like, you really don't know what you're talking about. Just trying to get my number. And I said, I'll bid you adieu. Gotta escape quickly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my personal experience. That was just a random rant, but fake deep definitely happened. People are definitely fake deep out here. they need to be exposed a lot more often, though.
I blame society. I'm gonna just throw it out there. I think the world has put so much emphasis on like you as an individual and what makes it so cool to be this. I think people go the realm of fake deep only because we are putting so much pressure on, oh, it's really enlightening when you meet someone who knows so much about Shakespeare. They don't. They just Googled Shakespeare really quick and then said a quick line or two, and now you're engaged. You're excited. Like, no, it's the pressure of the world. Like, if we move that back, I think we can eliminate fake deep, or fake deep can be reduced. I think that can happen.
Be truly ignorant. That's
You know what,
right
man? You know what, man? I think about stuff like that all the time as far as fake deep, because in my dirtbag days, when you guys first knew me, like I would definitely clean up with technology, because now, you know, you can do like the texting ahead. So if I'm thinking about texting somebody, instead of texting them at the moment, schedule a text message, have it already pre-written and stuff like that. Be going down the line, bro, with some fake messages.
Man, talking about
taking
the
it to the
extreme
next
setup.
level.
This is extreme setup. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, man, it takes one to know one. So
Right. Man, you was ahead of your time, King.
My goodness. Should I start doing that? I'm thinking to myself, will this help me? This might help me in life. I'm about to start it. I'm done. I'm starting this up. I'm about to do
That's
it.
real deep, actually, to do that.
That's next level.
Yeah.
That's next level prep right there. Because you sending them good morning messages, Joe, at 7.
Got it on a reoccurring.
Joe ain't sent it on an hour. He sent it at like 6:58, 6:59, like right before.
And he consistent with it every day.
You know what? I was smart enough to do that strategy versus my buddy, and I ain't gonna put him on blast. But he would have a group message, and one day he forgot that he sent it as a group message to all the numbers. So like, so everybody saw that mug that he was talking to at that point in time. I was like, bro, you was tripping.
Bro, that's how you get caught up. I'm telling you, bro. Unless apparently you didn't thought it out like Joe here.
Come on. Can you just imagine what it felt like to get that text at 6:59? I'm the first thing he thought about when he woke up. Like, I'm the first thing. This is early. This is so early. I'm excited.
But you also imagine being in a group message saying like, oh, I wasn't the only one. You know how hot that is? Sheesh.
Batman to the K.
Batman to the K.
So, Marcus, you ever had any fake deep experiences?
No, I don't think so.
You a real
I
one.
think
No,
I think that I don't know. I was trying to think about when I was younger, but I don't really think I ever really got involved in that. I would see that stuff though, and I would gravitate toward in some capacity. But I think I was just always somebody, I'm not trying to be different on purpose. That's my thing, is that I'm not trying to be this way just to be this way. I think it's just how I kind of always been. So I think when I see that stuff, like, that's why I don't like social media. I'm not going to go into social media and rant in this episode just because I do it all the time.
I need one.
Oh my gosh, I want one too. Sign me up.
If you say the right trigger words, I get going. But I'm trying to behave on this one. But, no, you see that? Like, I see that on LinkedIn a lot. I hate LinkedIn. I'm about to be back on there too. But no, man, people put that like super. It be like that super positive like stuff, and I'm like, man, life ain't like that for real. And I'm like, man, stop. And then all these people are liking it and all this other stuff, and I just look at it and I'm thinking, like, ain't none of y'all authentic at all. Like, nobody. And I was like, and I'm thinking, I was like, do people see through this nonsense? And I think that it's so. I think we see it so much. Kind of what you were saying, Chris. Like, it's so pervasive in our society that it's like glorified. It's glorified, and it's like nobody's really doing stuff. And I see people posting the stuff that I'm doing. I'm like, y'all not even doing that stuff, because if you was doing it in the first place, you wouldn't even had time to post.
Come on,
facts.
You wouldn't even have time to post. So no, I think that yeah, probably sure. I probably post some nonsense back on my old Facebook that's no longer available. If you can find my MySpace. But
it's a cancellation for me. It's no longer available.
But I mean, I just see it all. I just see it all the time. And it's something that I think we gotta learn how to maneuver through all of that stuff. Otherwise, we get caught slipping. But I probably feel victim to it at some point. I probably definitely have on my end.
Word.
Actually, yeah. I wanted to ask y'all that, like Marcus already alluded to it, but have you ever fallen victim to someone acting fake deep towards you?
All the time, man. I'm probably gonna take some people off. I don't mean to be political or whatever you want to, what capacity you want to put this in, but think about those people that are like heavily involved with religion. Some people use some of those words to kind of manipulate you, and it's unfortunate, but it happens all the time. And I think that's the one thing that grinds my gears with religion is some people use it for the wrong dynamics, for the wrong reasons. And of course, the church is all about a dollar, right? Not only is it tax free, but at the same time with the church, you want to keep that membership up so you can keep that money coming in. So with that on my mind and on my brain, there's certain things that don't sit well with me on that. Nothing's wrong with the message, right? There's definitely genuine people out there. There's genuine churches that's doing things the right way. But there's also just as many good ones as there are bad ones. And I think a lot of people don't take that into consideration versus always attacking people and saying like, you ain't even listening to the message. You ain't doing this, blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe that brother or sister have seen this person do some devious things. Maybe these people are in the streets and they know what they about and you just don't know it. So these are the type of things that just rubs or grind my gears because I've seen people at the higher level that's worth millions of dollars in the church. I ain't speaking on no names, but some people know who I'm talking about. And I've seen them do way more dirt than everybody else. And it's just hard for me to have a following to your creed or what you got going on. And, I don't want nothing to do with you. I'm not saying what you're saying ain't wrong, but, you're a hypocrite, buddy. I can't get with that.
I like piggybacking off of that just a little bit. It's also in the sense, how can we verify who's authentic? Like how in a world and a time frame where we post so many things, everything is viral, everything is digital. Like you have such an abundance to connecting with people, networking people, like all through the internet. How can you really tell who's more authentic than the other one? I think it's too hard, to be quite honest. I don't think it's easy to tell if this one person is more authentic than another. I feel like you have to see them in person. You actually have to know them or generally see them in action to feel like this is really you. This is not a deep fake. This is actually who you are as an individual. You just like posting motivational things.
I just take them for what they put out there. If I don't know you like that, then that's all I'm receiving from you. I'm not about to challenge who you are. Like, Joe, how you feel about religious topics or instances where religion can kind of tread into that fake deep realm? I feel like that when it comes to astrology. And I don't want to piss nobody off, but
that too.
Man, if one more person sends me something about being a Leo and
Gemini season,
yeah, my son is in retrograde, and
dang, I love astrology.
Yeah, I know. I hate this. I hate to do it, but I just feel like that right there. And I'm not gonna lie, I have entertained it, especially when I'm trying to entertain women. Like, word, what do you mean? So my moon is in retrograde right now? I don't care. I don't care. And I don't agree with all this. It's only to like after we get finished, when the relationship has run its course. I'm like, man, I never agree with none of that. And you sound crazy.
What's that statement, Trav? Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Gotta go pay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
Some bills
that's how I
to
feel
pay.
about astrology.
No, man. I mean, yeah, it's weird.
Listen, all right. Listen, I just man, look.
We got him.
Here we go. Trigger.
I ain't going on no
Let's go.
social media stuff, but all right. So I try to live in a world that's logical a lot, which creates some conflict between me and others. So that's okay. That's okay. But all right. So you're telling me that because I'm born on a certain day during the year, that I'm going to magically acquire a set number of characteristics that define how I operate with other people. It's nonsense. Doesn't make any sense. Where you can be whatever. I know crazy people born every day. Every day of the year. There's somebody crazy that's born. Every day of the year, there's somebody born that is combative, that's argumentative, that's driven. Like that's that you to I think to encapsulate that into a specific time frame is it's irresponsible.
That's such a good word for it.
But it's just like that's it's just a way to get by saying that, yeah, I've gotten into some, I'm not gonna call them arguments, but I've had people disagree with me on that, and I tell them to make it make sense, and they fail every time because it doesn't make sense. Because it doesn't make sense. But you know what? Sometimes we need something to believe in. Chris, can you share?
Over there sweating.
Listen, because I'm just gonna put it out there. I think, and I understand, it sounds like rubbish. It doesn't make sense. You're right. It absolutely doesn't. I can't say that I know astrology like the back of my hand. I don't. I sort of do believe, though, like certain characteristics are associated with your sign. And it's not to say that you align with every single one that they throw at you. No, you just got one of them. I mean, it works out in some form or fashion that you at least have one of those characteristics which you fall into that certain day or month or whatever. I don't know, guys. I love it.
Question, Chris?
Yeah, but oh, come on.
And we don't have to make this a debate or anything.
Here we go.
Because as Marcus stated, sometimes you just need something to believe in, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't want to knock your belief system.
Okay.
All right. So if I'm born in whatever month and they give me a blanket set of vast characteristics that will fit over there. So I didn't see a whole bunch of zodiac signs. Yeah, that person's outgoing or it's like it's a blanket. It's like, yeah, anybody can fit in that.
Yeah.
I didn't fit so many Virgo descriptions and characteristics, and I didn't fit so many Cancers. So I just lie to people now. I'm like, yeah, I'm a Cancer. They'd be like, I see that.
Clark is right 2 times a day.
That's right.
I'm like,
that's right. Hey, listen, it's like the only thing I can compare it to is a fortune cookie.
Hey, hold that thought. That's
fortune cookies used to mean something. All right. Now I can go.
Oh my gosh.
Now I can go on the website and get an angry fortune. I can get a happy fortune. Get out of here with it. All right, Joe. I'm sorry. I ruined it. I ruined something.
No, you didn't ruin it completely, man. Just hold that thought, okay? Fortune cookie. But I was just gonna piggyback of what you all said, whether it was irresponsible or rubbish. I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it kind of street. I'm just gonna call that ignorant, because all of that is just straight ignorant.
Oh!
And and that's what it is. It's ignorant as hell. Like there's some, like, I'm with you, Chris. Like, I believe in some of the characteristics of, like, because I'm a Gemini. Like, I do believe I do have a split. Like, I do have duality to who I am as a person. But I also don't think that is because I'm a Gemini. I think that's just because of the culture I grew up in, where I was dealt with a lot of people in diverse backgrounds. Like, I went to a white school, but after I left that school, where did I go? I hung out with predominantly Black kids because, I'm Black. So, I feel like that's where the Gemini in me comes in, because I know how to interact in duality between both. Some people might call it code switching, but it's really not. You're basically talking the same language, but a different language at the same time. So, not everybody can do that. And I just happen to have that talent. But yeah, man, I agree with you, Chris, with that. But it is ignorant because I do play off of it when I do converse with women. So we're going to get over to Trav with the women part.
Oh.
And I say that I do because girls always ask, what sign are you? And I have the most deviant sign according to women. Oh, you're a Gemini. And I'd be like, okay, so, and like, is that supposed to change stuff for me? Like, so then they'd be like, well, I have to watch you because you got an evil side or something like that. You got something to hide or something like that. And I'm like, you starting this relationship off bad already.
Wild.
Like this. Like, you just basically gave me permission to just be real ignorant. So that's why I said this is ignorant all the way, because it never goes good when someone asks me, what is my zodiac sign?
And Chris, go ahead, Marcus.
No, look, when somebody asks me that and they guess, because a lot of times people guess wrong, um, I'd be like, sure, whatever you think, that's fine. And then it's like, listen, what if I'm born in a different time zone on the deadline date? What happens? And then it gets
here we go.
and then
Here
it
we go.
gets
Here we
it gets
go.
so perplexing. It gets so, I mean, it really creates like a conundrum because you can't, and usually they don't want to talk to me anymore after that because
They shut down the whole
because
conversation.
I'm making their life more difficult than what it has to be. But that's the kind of thing I hit you with, just to see how you're gonna respond. And you usually it doesn't end well, but I'm kind of retired from that life right now, so I'm kind of I'm pleased with that. But
Okay.
that's all I had to say. Like, what happens if it's I'm born at midnight, but it's the next day on another side of the world? How do you
Marcus
How
said
do
he
you
thought of
approach
a freaky phrase. Don't y'all add rising moons and you have a Libra
Come
sun.
on. Yeah, I mean,
It's a-
yeah.
And
You
trying
have
to find a
it's a leap
loophole.
year.
rising. You have a
Yeah,
If it's a
moon.
leap year, if it's a leap year,
Right,
Come
right.
on.
Yeah, you
Come
done
on.
lost me on that.
what are we doing, man?
I mean, the biggest part, I'll agree with you guys again. It can be very confusing, and it's just honestly, it doesn't make sense. And for all of you using that to factor your conversations with women, I find it so hilarious because a lot of women start out with, "What is your sign?" It goes left immediately once you hear that. But I don't know, y'all.
I know the agenda right when she asked me that. When she asked me
Come
what's your
on.
sign, I'm like, oh, I know how serious this is not about to be.
It could be very serious.
I'm
She's
taking
just
you to
probably
Waffle
just like
House right
astrology.
Hey, Waffle House, that's that jam.
Yeah, man. Chris, just to add on to you, and I know we on this for a minute, but I could be inaccurate and I could be fact checked on this, but
Mhm.
astrology is based on the set constellations in the sky, right?
Right.
It's of stars. So if you're born while this certain constellation is in a certain position, that's
Yeah.
your sign, right?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if this is myth or fact, but
Okay.
I think those change over time.
Yeah.
So what was considered a Leo like 500 years ago,
Has shifted.
yeah. So it could be
Yeah.
like a Libra now or a Sagittarius now. So what happens? Like, do my sign change over?
From what I know, the only thing that shifted is that we got an extra sign. We have a 13th one. That's the
Yo,
only
wow.
thing.
Yo, wow.
There's
All right,
a
I'm off.
13. There's a 13. Stop. And if you ask the question, I'm gonna answer
Okay,
it.
you're right.
And from my knowledge, there is 13 now. So again, you are correct. The stars move, and that means as we move in time down here, universe is making this whole situation up there. So I can't tell you if actual how it works, but we have 13 now. Just to let you guys know, it's 13.
See, and that's when I tuned out when you said 13, because that took me all the way back when they started telling me that Pluto's no longer a planet and part of our solar system. I tuned out on that too.
Damn, you
See,
think
that's what
Pluto's still a
happened,
part
bro.
of it?
We lost a planet. Gained a sign, bro.
There we
Nonsense.
go. There we go. Pluto got
Nonsense.
too far.
Nonsense.
This
Man,
is too much.
I think we should pivot. We should.
Okay,
definitely-
we
I
about to
never-
pivot.
I never in my life thought I would talk about that for that long.
Okay, we about to pivot. Okay, so
He
back to
cleared
the
the air
fortune.
though.
Yeah,
He definitely cleared the air.
it makes sense. That was necessary dialogue. So fortune cookies, wisdom. Okay, so we're getting back on that. I'm gonna read you guys a fortune cookie, a fortune from a fortune cookie, and I actually do keep these in a jar, and I keep them for ideas, which is weird. I don't necessarily use them on people. I use them for ideas because realistically, if we break it down, a fortune is really led to your interpretation. So I'm gonna read this, and I want you guys to hop on this. You can determine this is fake deep. You can say this is trash or whatever. I would love to hear what you have to say. I'm not gonna read the numbers on the back because I'd be pissed if somebody hit that daily 4 or daily 5 and not break me off a piece. So, so the fortune says you may lose the small ones, but win the big ones.
Isn't it just common? Well, I don't know. It could be motivating, but That's like a duh moment for me. Or it's like, of course, maybe. That's trash. Never mind, Joe. That's trash to me. Yeah.
I like
because
it.
it makes sense. And yeah, people need to be reminded of it, but a duh to me. But other people lose the big ones, I guess, and don't make it to those big successes. So I don't know.
I wouldn't see it as a fortune. I would see it as a reminder, just like you said. Sometimes
Mhm.
we need to be reminded that those small ones are just as they are, small. And a lot of people get fixated on the small moments and they overwhelm themselves with that they miss that there's something bigger happening. And there's a possibility that you could win this moment that's huge, like way better than what you have going on right now. And we lose ourselves in that. So if you get fixated on small, you'll never see the big win happen. So here's a reminder. It's okay to lose those small ones because you're going to end up winning the bigger ones.
Oh, you're real deep.
I'm just saying. I liked it. As soon as he read it, I'm like, oh, I was excited. I have to tell myself it connected. Like, I have to tell myself that sometimes. I'm an overthinker. And if I get fixated so much on something that's very minor, I'm about to lose sight of the major picture, like the bigger factor. So yeah.
Makes sense.
I would like to recant my statement after that beautiful. All right. How y'all feel about it?
So, kind of follow up on what Chris was saying is that, like, these statements and all this stuff that is being put out there, it's being put out there for a reason. And, you know, I kind of look at the percentage, like what percentage of people that actually produce content, products, anything that falls in that realm that could potentially be perceived as the deep fake, how much is that is really authentic and how much is that is really being put out there to actually help people? Because I put out a lot of stuff and all my stuff is meant, like, it's really 100% meant to help people. I have a hard time posting stuff that, like, isn't even real. I like to post, like, I wish I could post this, like, old busted down pair of shoes that I wear to, like, go to work outside, but I can't run it. If I even attempt to sprint, bro, I'm gonna come out the shoe completely. Like, that's how fragile like the shoe is. But I wish that I could like share stuff like that and people understand that, like, the reason I keep these shoes is that I've made a lot of money in these shoes. I've definitely got my return on investment in these shoes, and they're like, they work for me, and I'm not worried about what other people think. But it's the thing is that people who are not authentic are putting that stuff out and they're gaining the audience. And I mean, that's the issue I think that prevails with just having influencers and things like that, is that, you know, people look up to these folks, but what they're doing, it's all really it's like a show. It's like a show for some people, but then there's other people that are being authentic. And I think it kind of throws a wrench into things because people are doing stuff for attention. When you got people doing stuff for attention, and then you got people doing stuff because they want to help people. And because you can profit off of motivation, because you can profit off of positivity, people they're gonna ride in that lane because they see there's something to be gained from being perceived as, you know, like, always being positive and stuff like that. Like, it's impossible to be positive all the time. I don't know anybody who's positive. If you're positive all the time, I'm scared of you, because I know that
About to shoot up someplace. Yeah.
Just how people say, like, people look at me, they be like, man, he's quiet all the time, man. You got to watch out for the quiet ones. I'm like, you happy all the time? I got to watch out for you.
Positive Patty. Positive Patty.
You know, you have to. I just think, no, people find a way to profit off of it, and I think it's a lot of good. I think it's a lot of good content, a lot of things that are geared to help people that are put out there, and people don't see it because, like, the perception, and back to what Chris was saying, like, society and stuff. I hate to point fingers, but I mean, we made it, you know. So, but no, it's really understanding that just because, like, somebody, you jump on Instagram or you jump on some sort of media platform and somebody has like 2 followers and they don't have a lot of friends, that doesn't mean that what they're putting out there doesn't have value. It just means that not a lot of people gravitate to it. Joe and I say stuff actually, Joe says a lot of stuff. I'm not even going to talk about me. Joe says a lot of stuff that I'll be sitting there, I'll be listening to other people that have like millions of followers, like millions of people that are supporting them. I'm like, Joe said that 2 years ago. Joe said that 5 years ago. And sometimes some people are so ahead, and Joe's just such in his own lane, and he don't really care about that. So I think that like you put stuff out there, it's authentic, man, and it just gets overshadowed by people that are they just doing it for clout, and you have to know how to see through that.
Okay.
What do y'all think about it?
Uh,
Talk
I
about
agree
something.
with you. I mean, yeah, man, I agree with you on that 100, whatever. Like, I'm trying to think, but, but no, like, I agree with you completely, man. And I think that that's one of my frustrations with people because now it's not a word thing. Like, Twitter was based on wordplay and it's starting to get back to that now.
Right.
But everything was all about images for the past 5, 6, 7 years, which would be Instagram. And you know, one thing that I can't effing stand is people putting quotes under a basic ass picture. And you know, it might be somebody on a damn cliff looking out to the horizon, and then they just say the most craziest stuff. And they get all these likes. And I know I sound like a hater, but it's just like, bro, like this is wild. Like somebody might say something really bogus and nobody's sitting here checking my mans. You know what I'm saying? They just letting them go with it just because the picture looks nice. And that type of stuff is just sending out the wrong images because it's just basically saying that it's okay to, you know, do that, I guess. Like I'm all for freedom of speech, but it comes to a point where you can't send mixed messages to people that are heavily influential. In other words, what you do, they're going to pretty much soak that up and think that that's a norm. So now you got on Instagram because everybody looked at these famous people like a Kim K or like a Kanye, and you know Kanye ain't got his right mind together. So you know they would say stuff out of these nice pics that they're taking. You know what I'm saying? And then people start doing it and making their own versions of it, and I feel like it just oversaturates the whole market. And I think that's the reason why people are doubling back to straight wordplay because the Instagram is played out from the Instagram models and them getting attacked and all that kind of stuff. So maybe that will kind of like kill Instagram a little bit. No, I have nothing against Instagram, but the quality on there is very few far in between now. It's oversaturated with mixed messages.
Oh, for sure. I kind of getting back to what Marcus discussed. He made me think of like a real pet peeve I have when it comes to Instagram, especially. Basically, I love it when people post their failures, even though people rarely do it. And if they do it, it's always after the success. So it's
Right.
like it's you know what's going on. So I think it kind of ties into your statement too, that also I don't know, it creates that societal pressure to be deep or to show the best version of yourself. But for me, like Marcus said, I got a pair of shoes that if I take an inch into them, they're gonna fall apart, and I don't want to post it. Sometimes because you know the type of reaction you get. But for me, I see people go on these weight loss journeys, work these crazy jobs, and you never see that. You always see it when they didn't lost all the weight, and or they didn't made a certain amount of money, or they on a vacation or things like that. And it's always some deep quote, and I don't know, maybe it resonated with them in the process of their struggle to get to that point. I don't know, trying to throw them some bail, but I feel like, man, I think society needs to start showing the struggles more. That way, some of these quotes, some of them, because these girls on Instagram be going crazy with these deep philosophical. Don't quote no Eurydice or anything like that, and you ain't doing nothing but sitting on the beach somewhere. So, but I like that. I think to agree with Chris and Marcus, it's a lot of societal pressure to be fake deep or to show the 10%, the top of the glacier, instead of what lies underneath the sea sometimes. So just a random thought.
But I do think we're in a stage of progression. I will say that. I think that a lot of people who feel that the norm is so boxed in and it just doesn't make sense anymore because we live in such a time where there are so many different races, there's so many different ways to identify yourself. Like there is just an overflow of you being whoever you want to be. So we are, in a sense, going in a direction of having those moments where you can like show your struggle. It's okay. Show how different you are. It's fine. because different makes sense. It's appealing to the eye nowadays. And I think we're going in that direction. Yeah, we still have a larger percentage of people posting deepfake. Like, we know that's present. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just, I think it takes those who care about it and they want to see that change. You have to keep pushing it. Like, that's all it is. Like, just post your struggle, post, like, encourage other people to post their struggle. And that's how you continue to push the needle to be more different than what we have right now.
Okay. And I think that's a good idea by showing some humility, right?
Mhm.
I think that's a wonderful, beautiful thing. You know, I talk about it a lot in my motivational Mondays. And you know, it's the key to everything, to be honest with you. You learn so much from being down that you don't realize that you enjoy being down more so than being up. That's a conversation for another day. But people don't learn to really understand and appreciate the journey, because that's what made you. You know, think about all those people that actually hit the end goal, like the Dr. Dre's, the Kanye's, and everything. You see how you see how bored they are. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, these people are bored. Like, the content, the music is kind of watered down because, you know, they hit the end of that journey, and that's the reason why they move on to other facets like fashion, music, technology, because the passion's gone, man. They didn't climb that mountain and made it to the top. There's nothing left to really leave out there for them to really enjoy. And you know, I think people also need to know, like, when to throw in the towel. And that's basically what I'm getting at, is like, a lot of people don't understand that that's a whole process in itself. A lot of it does come to, like, maturity, of course. But, you know, some people don't understand that we do have a time to shine, and everyone does have a time to shine. And you need to know when to let it go and when to bask in it and enjoy the moment. I can't determine that for you, but I promise you, you'll know when you're there. Now, was that fake deep?
Oh, that was real deep. I felt that.
I was about to say that it's not fake deep whatsoever.
Jesus.
Man, talk about thinking. I'm like, should I be writing this down? Like, I didn't bring any pen or paper. I don't know why. Like,
Just play back the episode, Chris.
Man, that was good. I see the mind that I was like, man, I would have never thought to send these messages ahead of time. But to see that mind over there cooking, I see the brain power behind it. That's real deep.
It's real deep. It's real deep. No fake deep. All real.
That's dangerous thinking, bro. Dangerous thinking. So let's keep talking about this. Actually, this is actually really interesting to me. So, like, when you think of that, do you think it's necessary to even call out people? So say, like, everyone starts showing their, like, sad story, like, oh, I went through all this, that, and the third just to get here. Like, is it really easy for you to depict and tell, like, these people that fake their way for some attention? Because I feel like there's a lot of that out there too.
You are right about that.
Yeah. All right. So that's the issue. That's the issue. You can see me. I sit here I try to tiptoe around certain things. But look, if you listen to the show enough, you know I go into the rants on the social media. I just it's hard for me to avoid. So I'm trying to do better. People, please understand. So no, that's what I was saying when Chris was talking. When Chris was just talking, I was thinking, like, yeah, you might say society needs to do better, but sometimes when society catches on, it's over. It's over. And that's the thing, is that you look at certain things in certain spaces, and you look at, well, like, what are the bulk of people doing? Sometimes these things are good, but sometimes, like, the things that are, like, massively adopted are inherently bad. Like, I'm about to deviate a little bit. I'm gonna get back on track. All right. So you look at people who get a mortgage, right? And you look at debt, right? And you understand that the reason a lot of people are in the situation they're in is because they go into debt. But it's become acceptable to have a mortgage as debt in our society. But fundamentally, there's something wrong with that because of the position that it puts us in. But it's widely accepted. But I know it's wrong. And there's something wrong with it for you to buy something you can't pay for. But anyway, as I go back and switch lanes back to something, you know, it's like you see that people, yeah, I can see people start posting their little struggle stuff for clout. You know, the stuff people put together. Like I was on Reddit the other day. I seen somebody. I was in the AMC stock little room on Reddit, and I just look at people been posting like they ramen and stuff, they struggle meals and all that stuff. Like they got like one, like a rotten apple in the fridge, and like one half pack of ramen.
They ain't got no baking soda in there, man.
with no
Not a
with no
half
season.
pack.
No seasoning.
No.
And I'm looking like this, bro. I'm like, y'all trying to have like the struggle Olympics on here. That's what it turned into. Because I was looking at one. This guy had some cereal. He had like some Cheerios with two hot dogs in the milk with a slice of cheese in the bowl.
Stop.
And I was like, it and one of the first comments was like, bro, you need to get some help.
Because you don't have to struggle that hard, bro.
That's an uncomfortable struggle.
And it was obvious that this person, like, yeah, some people like to invest in the stock. Like they're sitting there, like they're really making sacrifices to be able to buy those shares because of what they think is going to happen. And it's people that are eating ramen every night or really saving, like trying to save money and having like some struggle meals just to try to make things work. But then it gets to the point to where it gets like glorified, and then it gets like poisoned pretty much because people want to do it for attention. And I think that that's really the thing, is that when you see people doing that, I think it's important to have a group, like a subset group, that isn't about all that exterior stuff. And we're not doing, like, you're not in a situation where you're doing it for attention, because it kind of goes back to, I was just talking about this on another episode, is that what is the fundamental reason why you post on social media? And I'm not going to talk about it right now. Go listen to the episode on toxic positivity, and you will hear me go on a rant for at least 5 minutes about how I feel about that. But that's all I'm going to say. But it's what you really have to think about, like your motivations for posting and your motivations to jump on these platforms and consume this content as well. Because if you know people aren't being authentic, and it's like, that's what, see, Chris, you were talking, I wrote this down. I was like, why can't people see through the nonsense? Like, why can't people, I'm asking the question, like, why can't people see through what's going on? Crazy. A lot of cutback though.
Okay. You guys want to answer that first?
I was gonna say,
don't worry about me.
Especially when you're especially the younger generation. I hate to be that guy. These younger whippersnappers. When you grow up in the nonsense, you don't know that it's nonsense. It's just a way of living. So this whole struggle Olympics things that Marcus mentioned, like, if that's how you grew up. You grew up in this era where that's glorified and cool. And if you don't know anything different, how do you act different? Now, that's just, for me, that's just the only bail I'm gonna shoot for any of this, just because we have to do better. But again, what Marcus said, once that train gets going, it's hard to stop that. Now you're behind it. I think that's tough to correct, unless you just get a large movement to counteract this already toxic movement where people are glorifying struggling and posting for attention and not having a true purpose to a post. And sometimes I guess people's true purpose is to post some nonsense. It is to do that. But just need another trend to counteract that, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of at the moment.
I don't think you can see through it. Truthfully, honestly, I don't know if it's possible. I mean, we create things. People like paint a really good. Honestly, people are Picasso with what they post. Like, they are a true artist at what they're posting. So it is hard to see. I don't know if this Mona Lisa is real. I don't know if it's fake. It is so hard to see, like, through the nonsense. Like, I think it just comes with the level of what you allow in your space and what you accept to be real and what you accept to be fake. So will we ever be able to cut through the nonsense? Maybe not. Honestly, it just takes maybe your experiences. You've experienced what it really looks like. You feel like you've been through enough to say, this person is authentic. Maybe that's how you work through the nonsense, but I don't think it's possible.
It's the proverbial train we was talking about.
But what about Soldier Boy getting caught in the middle of the mob with buying fake jewelry and stuff?
That's one way you can see through it. But I mean, the guy, that's hard, bro, because I mean, he got money, right? He
Right.
has money. He's made money. I
He
don't know
ain't broke.
I was
We know
about to say,
we know
no,
he
he
ain't
ain't broke.
broke.
But yeah, when you do foolish stuff like that, it kind of discredit how much money you really making and what you really doing. Like Kanye was just, he was asking people for money. What was
Yeah,
that, 2 years ago?
he was in the hole about 60 million, and now he's a billionaire.
Now he's a billionaire. And I think if people truly understand, like, hey, y'all gotta know behind these social media posts, it's people struggling.
Mhm.
Whether it's a success story at the end of it, you have to know that it's a struggle to get to that point. Whether or not they show it or display it, that's up to them.
Well, let's
But-
keep it all the way in Detroit. How many cats you know rock Cartiers, Buffs, you name it?
Real?
And well, yeah, they're fake, or maybe they are real, but you know they really ain't holding. So maybe they got 1,500 $2G dollar shades on, right?
Mhm.
But they can't even buy themselves a Happy Meal, or they don't even have a car.
Oh, because you see that real stuff, Joe. When you go on people's social media, people only look at what's been glorified. So if I go to a young guy from Detroit and he got these buffs and he walking around with the money phone and money on his arm, but I don't see no house, I don't see no car, and that's all you posting. You don't take no trips. Oh, okay, that's not even a lifestyle that. Like, what are you doing?
Mm.
I look through that because it's the small stuff people can see. Like, all right, you just being flashy, knowing that's your rent that's on your arm, knowing that that's your baby's money that's stacked up to your ear, or that's. I look at that and I see stuff like that.
I feel it. So how do you guys feel about this statement? And I'm gonna back off. Fake people don't surprise me anymore. Loyal people do.
That's deep. That's real deep.
I'm like
I wanna-
thinking about it. I'm like, it's so
I want to
true.
let one of y'all jump off first. I feel like I keep jumping off this cliff. So this show saying
It's so true. It's so true. Again, we live in a time frame where we have like, I don't know, 1 million artists. Like they didn't even go to art school. Like, I don't know. They are literally painting a picture for us. So it has some real to it. It's a lot of fake people in this world nowadays. And again, it's because we have so many different outlets. We can create personas. People hide behind digital platforms. Don't even step out their house. And they've created a whole life on social media without stepping foot out like outside of their house. So I know it's possible. And to find someone who's loyal in the mix of all these fake people, it maybe is rare. People switch easily nowadays. You lose a friend, like, I don't know, every 3 months. If you're social, if you're truly social, you lose a friend you just picked up like at least 3 months ago. That's just yeah.
X described it perfectly. I think on RIP, of course, but DMX in a interview, or he was on a podcast with NoMoreAlcoholPodcast called Drink Champs, and he was just talking about how he trusts people to be people, right? People are going to people, and he always say, when asked that question, he say, "I trust a snake to be a snake," right? You know nothing else but to be that. And so, do he say, "I don't trust snakes"? No, I know what you are. You show who you are, and I know how to move around that. I think to go with Joe's statement, I trust people to be that. So yeah, it surprises me if they act in a way where you don't really see that characteristic a lot, and especially nowadays where you don't see a lot of people display a level of strong loyalty or trust or realness about them. So yes, it surprises me. It don't surprise me that so many people move in the way they move, because that's how people do. That's what they're gonna do. So yeah, when you see a unicorn, you gotta pay some attention to it.
A loyal unicorn.
Yeah.
A loyal unicorn.
Well said.
I think it's hard to see. I mean, when you meet somebody who's like not on that, like that stuff that everybody else will. I mean, it's not everybody either. I mean, I have to catch myself when I say that. Is when you like when I see somebody who appears, appears to be like authentic and is not always out for like personal gain. Like a lot of people are out here for personal gain. They always want something. or they're always trying to do something. So I think it's unfortunate, but like now, if I don't know you, I'm kind of looking at you. I got to look at you like sideways a little bit because I'm trying to figure out if you're actually like trying to do what I'm not gonna say what's right and wrong because things aren't that simple. But if you're trying to use me or something for your own personal gain, because you have to learn kind of people's motivations and things like that. For me, sometimes I'm just trying to help somebody, and that's it. Like I'm not looking for anything in return um, or anything like that. Most of the time, unless it's something that's associated with my business, then of course you want to be compensated to some capacity. But but I think that when you have to look at everybody, especially when you're judging people through social media, I know usually if I see your social media, I know it's a lie anyway to begin with. Just because you throw the filters on, you show the highlights, and I mean that's it. You take a picture of your food that nobody really wants to see, and it's and that's
Hey,
that's
go
really
to Instagram cooking for Bay, y'all. You get a good laugh.
so. But I'm gonna check that out too, Joe. But no, like you really have to move cautiously, especially if you're somebody because you end up being taken advantage of. And I think it goes back to like when I first, like with Joe, when I first started doing the pod, and I had to get like stuff with my business, and I started to get on social media and stuff, and I was picking up on some trends, and I remember I talked to Joe, and I was like, man, do people like add you just so you can add them, and then they just remove you just so they get their stats up, and it's stuff like that. Like when I saw that, I was like, man, this is some nonsense. I hate to even be on these things right now, but it's necessary for business. And I think that that's the kind of thing, like, and that's the kind of thing where I remember I kind of like went in on an episode, and it's like, how you gonna sit there and expect somebody to support you, and you won't even support the stuff that they got going on, and you just so selfish. You're so selfish that you'll let them add you, you'll add them, and then you get your stat up, and then you bounce out of there. So it's stuff like that, like where people are just it's a lot of self-serving out there, and then I think the most like the people that are out here like really trying to do stuff. Now there are people that do achieve some significant status. And I don't want to minimize that because they put the work in, but there's a good deal of people that, man, they just sit out there and they put that stuff out there. They got one follow, like they got a million people following them, but they don't follow anybody. That's selfish. That's selfish. That's exactly what it is. I don't care what anybody tells me, because you're trying to make yourself appear like you're more important than all the people that support you, all these people that are famous, all these people that have some sort of status. There's all these people, I don't like beneath them that are lifting them up. These are the people that are paying your bills. These are the people that support your content, your music, whatever projects, your business, whatever you're working on. But you don't have enough time to follow them to see what they have going on. And that just shows you how much some of these people actually care about what you have going on. And they're just like, a lot of people just using other people. And I think that's like with the whole deep fake thing and stuff like that. Like once I kind of see it, I'm like, man, it's some nonsense. It's some nonsense, and I have a hard time existing on these platforms. But I think it's one of those things that's necessary. And I think if we really take the time to just like take it as at face value, and not associate too much weight into it, because it's all filters, it's all cheese, it's all highlights, these nice pictures. We know you see people out there, they're trying to get the angles, they're trying to get the lights right, and all this other stuff. You throwing the filters together, you doing all this stuff, man. You borrowing all your friends' money so you can put 2 stacks on the bed, and you got maybe a couple hundreds, and the rest of them just singles.
You exposing too many people out here, Marcus. You exposing too many people.
Took a payday loan out just to flex. So it's nonsense. It's nonsense, man. But hey, I'm a rapper. I think I'll probably be done on this. But it's like, look, man, the people that see through that, they're able to gain an edge. And I think that if you can see through a lot of the stuff that's out here that's fake, then you can make some strides that other people won't be able to make. And you might find yourself in a small circle. The richest people in the world don't have social media. They don't, because they don't care. And one day I'm gonna be one of them people that don't care. I don't care, and I'm not gonna be on it because I'm a ghost. Joe, no, right. I'm gone, bro. It is gonna be a fake account. My face is gonna be on there. Bro, it's not gonna be me. It's gonna be like that McDonald's It's like a McDonald's tweet where the guy was like, he was like, what's your favorite meal or something? And the guy said it was something like a double cheeseburger meal or something such. He's like, what about you? And the guy's response was like, man, I just run a social account, bro. But nah, man, that's it. That's it, man. That's
I just
it.
run the social account. Man, we got a good Marcus rant. That's what I was waiting on, man.
That was it. That was
Drop
it.
them gems.
Yeah, buddy. Well, hey, do you guys want to take this opportunity to big up your platform, man? Because I think your platform is booming. You guys got a lot of momentum behind you, and that's primarily of why we brought you on here. You guys have great content, amazing conversation, and people need to, be exposed to that. So I'll let you guys expose yourselves as far as to our community about what you guys do.
Oh,
Take it
of course,
away,
Travis. Take it away, Chris. Me and Travis, our podcast is called No More Alcohol Podcast. Basically, it's a great conversation between me and Travis on a weekly basis where alcohol is involved. And we encourage to drink responsibly, but it's a premise of just two friends having these open conversations about life, relationships, topics of culture, everything you can think of, with just a sense of fun, laughter. We try not to take anything too serious, but yeah, that's the basics of what we do and how we like to run our shows and each episode. So Travis, if you want to throw in something.
Well, you kind of hit a lot of it. So yeah, we touch on those topics. We are available on Spotify, Apple, basically every platform that will allow a podcast. We are live on Instagram every Wednesday, where basically we recap the episode with you guys, our listenership, and we play different drinking games and just discuss topics like you would if you were with your friends having a drink at a bar or in an intimate social setting. We try to make sure it's a safe space and that everybody is able to voice their opinion without the feeling of being judged. So we don't tolerate that. We have a low tolerance to judgment, but please be open and have fun.
Please, every Wednesday, new episode. And our motto is in the podcast, we don't stop until we run out of alcohol. So once we run out of alcohol, we end the episode, just to let you know. So get all drinks prepared, honestly.
I do want to take another moment just to thank Joe and Marcus for allowing us to come into y'all space, make us feel at home, give us some good laughs, some great conversation as you always do. You guys are doing big things, and we appreciate y'all for being like the big brothers to us in a sense, especially in this podcast game, but also on a personal note. So we thank y'all. We love what y'all doing. We look up to y'all, and I think, man, the society needs this. If anybody. So, man, we appreciate y'all. We look forward to having more of these conversations.
Hey, society needs us both, man. And don't worry, we're going to have your show information in our episode description so people can definitely tune in if they being lazy. So we're going to make sure they don't miss that, man, because these people, or these two guys that I consider my bros, definitely have a lot to offer. And, if you're in that age group from anywhere from, I guess, 20 plus, you definitely going to enjoy the content. Either you're going to reminisce on a lot of stuff, or you currently experience some stuff where you can pick up some knowledge from them. It's a great time. It's very comical. I highly recommend, if you do listen, you might be around or sitting with other friends, and you might not even listen to what they're saying anymore because you guys get carried away of what they're talking about. And that's what makes their content amazing. So, they have great conversationalists. We talk about people that are bar stars here. We got Drip Johnson and we got Chris Nate.
I appreciate that. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Rob.
No joke. These two people, and I mean, I'm a piece of work myself, but these two people walk into any establishment, I guarantee you they're going to have if they don't have the whole place jumping, they're going to at least have a corner jumping. I
promise. Oh my gosh. That's
too much love, man.
Thank you. Wow.
Most definitely. And, we also are going to be guests on their show too. So I can't wait to be a
So
little bit
excited.
more raw and uncut and cut loose on that. I got to keep it kind of PG-13 on this one.
Yeah.
I'm
We'll have fun,
excited.
though.
Can't wait
I'm
to have y'all
excited,
on.
too.
Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate the support. Thanks again for Travis and Chris coming through on the episode, man. We really appreciate it. Great collab here. Please check out their stuff. As Joe said, their information will be in the show notes. So definitely check them out and support what they have going on. Hopefully, this is the first of many collabs that we have. But hey, as usual, take care. Be safe.
Later.
I.
Gapstone.